Hi, everybody. It's Jeff Allen again, and another chapter in the book about I got the slide here about understanding Americans. I'm on a roll here. I like it. This is great. I'm sitting in a restaurant, little bit of background music, people all sitting in there, they're eating their stuff, and I've already had my breakfast. I'll have to get some lunch at a certain point in time here. But I'm really excited to be able to do this book here and the chapters. This is I've been like I said, I've been doing this, thinking about this for a long time. I've been really thinking about it, dwelling upon it, pondering upon it, for a decade. But beyond actually having thought about it before, but now I've been wanting to get this out, and so it's time. Now this one is about. I've actually done a separate chapter about the military. And I want to do about for the understanding Americans about the whole police thing because this is different than the military. Um, and I'll maybe mention some things I didn't get to mention the other one too because there are some similarities and some differences. So I'm going to mention the thing about being military police, international police, and I'm going to talk about the police, domestic police, because I didn't get to mention the international police point, and I'll probably start with that because I want to finish that off with the military one. Again, I don't have all these little talking points I have to follow. I'm not scripting this. If I scripted it, it would take, again, if I scripted it, I might as well write the book, and writing the book is too long, and I would never get out. So, and this takes us, speaking it makes much faster. Yes, these videos are all, 15 to 22 minutes to 30 to 40 minutes to an hour each. But that's how long a chapter is. When you're reading a book, that's how long a real chapter would be, depending on how long it is. So some of these are sub-chapters of sub-chapters and stuff, but we'll figure that in the playlist as we go here. This is evolving, it's continuing, and I'll just add more chapters, and hopefully I'll change my shirt. Because if I do all these with the same shirt in different places, I'm not changing my shirt, right? Not kidding. So, um, or maybe I'm doing it on purpose because I want to have the same look and feel, right? So, um, the so I'm going to mention the military police thing, or the kind of the military, the international police thing, and I'm going to get to the police part, okay? Because I didn't do that in the military police one, or the military one. And the one thing is that the Second World War is where the point in time where, and this is a follow up on the other one, kind of slight continuation, that the Americans became kind of set themselves up as the international police after from World War II on, and then Vietnam War, and then the whole, you know, international policing today, which actually Trump, he, merci, merci, oh, merci. Um, sorry, I had a free coffee. Wow, thanks for being here. Um, so the the um the international police thing took off, and then we can see today that the interventions that we have to be involved in everything now. And I think that what it is, we can see that influences that influence also the decision that are made where there are interventions for the military. And there's a lot of things that are oil related. Okay, they are very oil related and natural resources related. And wherever there's not oil or other natural resources, then the military don't tend to get involved, right? So I think that's kind of another binary thing to think about. I hadn't thought about this, but this actually came out and doing this thing, these videos. Another binary thing is military get involved. I challenge you. I challenge myself because this is an idea as I'm doing this, and I'm doing this as I'm doing the videos. Test this out. Look at history with whether or not Americans are have been involved with the military, and do a test against it and see if it involved natural resources or not. Okay, I'm just posing this as a hypothesis. I have not thought about this in more detail because it just came to mind, and I'm saying it here and right now. Yeah, I'm brainstorming at the same time as doing video. Who would do this as a book? I'm doing it, okay? Because this is an ongoing thing. This is an ongoing process, and so look at that, and that helps us understand if this plus or minus thing works. It's a test for the military, and so the international kind of intervention as police for the military stuff. Where do we get involved, and where do we not get involved, and what is it about? If it's about war, yeah, that's one thing. If it's about, it needs to be about war. Okay, things need to be about war because there can be wars. But why are there reasons for wars? And is it over natural resources or not? That's kind of the thing. You got a kind of a double thing you have to. It's kind of a workflow. Is it a war, and is it about natural resources or not? Or natural resources part of the thing. Something about. The other thing is so the international police thing is, and from the Second World War on, it has become where the Americans, and look at all the films. Look at all the films now. The films about all the science fiction, all the war films, science fiction films about war and stuff, and all the Avengers stuff. It's all about us Americans policing the world, right? And the universe. The whole Marvel comics is about policing the Americans policing the rest of the world, right? And the rest of the universe, or the metaverse, or what do you want to call it now? Um, and the whole thing was about the Americans, the American superheroes, whether they can go and do other things in other countries, right? That whole thing they had to sign, and that divided up the Avengers. It's all these Americans, right? Well, some. You got what's her name, the Russian spy, but she's belonging to America, that kind of thing. This whole thing, the movie talks about this. These movies talk about it, and their whole tension, the whole thing they got about this. Captain America is kind of leading them as the first Avenger and all that. And the whole thing between Tony Stark and him. I mean, all this is about international policing, how they're fighting, they're deciding whether or not they want to be the international police or not, and whether they agree about being the international police. That movie series is a great thing to understand this topic of the international policing concept, and whether they want to represent America or not anymore, about being international police or international military, whatever you want to call it, okay, or policing what's happening in territories beyond. And it's not about defending. See, a lot of this is not about defending. It's about defending. Because you're not really defending because there's no territory defending. Again, watch my other video that I've got about when was the last time a invasion happened on defense, true defense happened on U.S. soil. U.S. soil. Not being else involved elsewhere. Okay. Which is not necessarily defense, because you might be helping defend other people's needs, but it's not about defending your own territory, right? Look at how the others do it. Look how the Swiss do it. The Swiss don't go off to running off and start defending everybody else's interests, right? They just kind of stick to their things and do their things, and they got other ways of making things happen. They're not trying to build a military enterprise. And they could. Now, Wakanda. Hey, look at Wakanda, Black Panther. Look what it taught us about when do we get involved with things and when do we not get involved in things. Wakanda was actually, if you think about it, it's kind of like the Swiss, if you really think about it. The Swiss attitude. Don't get involved. You don't need to get involved. Don't go out there and start wanting to get involved in all things. Don't need to be there. We just need to defend our own place. We don't want to get... The Wakanda thing is, I think that's a really good. It's fun doing this movie series, this film series, this video series, because I'm actually thinking of things I'm going. I hadn't actually scripted this. It's all come from just. So yeah, Wakanda is a great example of how the Swiss see it, and how they act. But the thing is, it's the whole thing of they finally come to the America at the end of Black Panther, right? And they set up this they buy the building where the half brother lived, right? He grew up. So I'm not spoiling because that film's been out for so long. The only question is we're going to see another Black Panther film or not because he passed away. So, but so that's the whole international police part, okay? Or international military police intervention thing. Now I'm going to kind of transition that over here to what the topic was is about police, domestic police, which is actually different. And so I had to mix them, but I hadn't thought about this other part in the other one, and so actually I'll stop this now. And this is the international police part, okay? Now I'm going to have the one on the next chapter about domestic police. So I'm going to stop this chapter here and have a shorter version.